Yeah, I want to give a little background information on the Beck type zapper and a Hulda Clark type zapper because there's a lot of confusion out there in frequency generators. Now, I want to state this. There's a couple things that I know there's like a lot of fans out there for Bob Beck and there's a lot of fans out there for Hulda Clark, and it becomes like a religion. It's almost like, it's almost like politics and religion when you get involved in this type of healing with frequencies or energy medicine or whatever you want to call it. You know, and you got Royal Rife and there's all these big name droppers left and right and everything else. But let me just state this because I think there's some pitfalls and caveats you need to avoid when you're doing some of this stuff, and I want to bring out some of those. Now, I think I'm actually getting more into the Hulda Clark style zappers now than the Bob Beck. But there may be something, I think there is something, a new product out that I'm have on the way that is actually going to be the best of both worlds, basically, when you're talking about in the zapper world, because the Bob Beck zapper was at half the Schumann Earth frequency. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, it's basically a square wave that goes up and down at half the Earth's natural resonant frequency. Now, that's alleged to be a healing and regeneration frequency. Actually, a lot of people feel better just by standing on the beach. They get the Schumann Earth frequency through their feet. It's kind of not a medical endorsed thing, but it's known as a scientific type thing. All living organisms actually benefit from the Earth's natural frequency. Now, the Bob Beck zapper is at half that Schumann Earth frequency, and it does put out quite a bit of volts, and it does knock out some pathogens. But the caveat is that it goes negative and positive because it's a AC current, right? AC current is alternating current. It goes positive, negative. Well, hopefully I'm not losing anybody on this deal, but what happens is there's different things that how it influences the body a little bit differently. Hulda Clark, and I know there's people are detractors and some people are fans and whatever, but Hulda Clark stated that the wave, the square wave, or from the zapper, say for instance you have a zapper like this, right? It's putting out an electrical wave that's connected to the body. It's putting out a very minor current. She stated that wave had to be 100% positive offset because any negative spike will actually help the parasites because they're oppositely charged than the body's natural cells. In other words, when our body is actually alkaline, has a slight alkaline bias, parasites are acidic. I think that's getting more and more established by the medical establishment even now. An alkalizing diet of usually like green leafy vegetables and things like that usually is more healthful. An acidic diet of like, I guess it would be drugs too, sweet and low and saccharin and, soft drinks and sugar, plain sugar, that makes your body acidic and that's unhealthy. And it also lowers the voltage it goes from your body's natural voltage is slightly negative or alkaline, actually saying the same thing. Alkaline pH is like the same as saying synonymous, actually with saying negative voltage. Positive pH is actually the same as saying acidic. Positive voltage is the same as saying acidic. Same thing. Well, when Hulda Clark is using a positive offset, a positive spike, what happens is it shorts out the positively charged microbes. No matter, even if you don't have the exact mortal oscillatory frequency. That's her words, not mine, but it makes a lot of logical sense. Let me put it to you that way. Now, the problem is with the Beck style zapper is that it goes positive negative. Now, in some cases, that's not really a problem because maybe the 4 hertz and the higher voltage is not getting stunning microbes in the blood. But what about the cancer BX and BY virus and HIV virus. What is it doing there? Is it supercharging those viri? Is it? While you're actually getting a stimulation of oxygen and vitamin and ATP uptake to your body because it's actually the healing and regeneration frequency? Is it? Possibly. Now, I'm going to state this. There's probably a happy medium where you're actually combining the best of both worlds. And now, that is a product I've got on order. It's actually a brand new product. It's a ParaZapper MY Zapper. MY stands for many zappers in one. It actually has, I think it's 12 modes in it, possibly, but two of the modes. There's one mode that actually has the 3.915 hertz, which is half the Schumann frequency, the exact frequency of the Beck style zapper, but it only spikes positive. It does not spike negative, and where it's actually helping the microbes, some microbes. You know, it's a little bit confusing because the Beck style zapper can knock stuff out with voltage. It can knock stuff out with the frequency per se, you know, the theory is. But at the same time, since it's an AC current, the voltage going down may be helping some things. You know, that's one reason I always said don't use it or depend upon it like for anything real serious condition, because you know, I don't really know. I mean, you want to try you might want to try it maybe, but maybe it's not the best thing to use. Maybe it's best to use maybe something like that along his design, but only positive spikes, as Hulda Clark recommended, because she was very, very, very adamant that the positive spikes on her zappers not even dip a slight amount negative. But when you're choosing, say, the 4 hertz frequency and the 3.915 frequency, those are alleged to be healing and regeneration and oxygen uptake, helping purify the blood and that type of stuff. But if you're only using it with positive offset, you're probably only doing something where it's working as an electron donor to the body cells, and you're not helping any viri, whether it be a cancer BX or BY or HIV virus or whatever the hell it is, or whatever there is out there. Because there's new problems coming up on the horizon called Ebola, and I don't really know what the solution is. You know, there's skin-eating bacteria and everything else. And you want to actually, you know, maybe you're not going to know what the and I know this is more like theory, but you might not know what the mortal oscillatory rate frequency of Ebola is. Maybe there isn't one. I don't know. Maybe there is one. But you want to make sure that if you're off that frequency somewhat, and a lot of zappers are not that accurate, that's another problem, is that you will actually might be helping the virus along because you're not hitting its mortal oscillatory rate. Now, one thing I did on research with the Beck style zapper, it has helped people. But in serious conditions, I don't think it has in much. You know, it's like it's a mixed, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be, even though despite what Beck said. But what I'm looking at is, you know, the possibility that the negative spikes are something undesirable. And that's per Hulda Clark, but I'm seeing the logic behind that when you're thinking about body's pH, the natural pH of the body, the natural pH of parasites, and the natural electrical type charge of the body versus the natural electrical charge of parasites. You're starting to think, yes, you do want to avoid negative spikes. You do want to avoid that. So the best of both worlds would actually be to have a Beck style frequency zapper that is only doing positive spikes, and that is actually the My Zapper, which I'll be getting soon. And it happens to be crystal controlled, which is highly accurate. As a matter of fact, when you're talking about even frequency generators, the larger frequency generators that, you know, are pretty bulky and you can't carry around, and, you know, they're also a little bit dangerous because, you know, you got to plug them in the wall. You don't know if the lightning's going to hit the wall and the house and go through the wire or something, you know, whatever. But you want to actually, you know, make sure the frequency is accurate, because if you're going to, you know, if it's alleged that a certain frequency works, if it's not accurate, if it's off even 5%, it's not going to work. Even if it's off a few percent, it's definitely not going to do what you think it's going to do. And that's that simple. So the only zapper I've ever seen now, from my research on all this stuff, because I've been researching this extensively for hours, is the ParaZapper, his top of the line My Zapper, which is crystal controlled. That is probably the most accurate zapper. But the actual thing is, with these things, you could probably get the same. Well, you could get the same effect from buying a frequency generator, but the problem is you can't carry it around with you when it's inconvenient. And this. Look how small this is. This is the actual ParaZapper CC2. Look how small it is. And you can carry it around. So the more you use it, and the more convenient it is, the more you use it. The theory is the better it should work for you. So that's one thing. But anyway, I just want to put this out because it actually looked like there's a new game in town that's coming out, and it's going to combine the strengths of the Beck style and the Clark style into one, plus a whole host of the alleged main frequencies that they use, that researchers have been using, that are all incorporated in one product. So, will it freaking save you? I don't know. But as far as I am concerned, with all the new designer things that are coming out there in this new world with, I don't know what's going to come out next after Ebola, whatever, I am getting the ParaZapper My Zapper because I realize that, right now, that is the best #1 zapper on the market, period. Not only due to having 88 different frequencies from my count anyway, it also has the Beck style type frequencies. It also has a crystal controlled microprocessor that actually is far more accurate than any other zapper on the market, period. So anyway, I just want to alert people to this deal because it looks like the limitations on the Beck style is those negative pulses. But that frequency of 3.195 hertz in the higher voltage is still useful, but you probably want to take the best of the both worlds and combine that with 100% positive offset. So, this is not the final end thing. I mean, there's probably going to be something better than that maybe combining a special carrier wave in the background that'll help penetrate the body's tissue better and all this type of stuff. I know these zappers have limitations and they don't reach all areas of the body. Even if the theory works 110%, say it does work 110%, it does not reach all areas of the body. It does have limitations. But are they useful in my opinion? Yeah, and I'm a layman, I'm not a doctor, but I think they are useful. Actually, on the state yesterday, I used the constant current 2 ParaZapper, this one, for 3 hours while I was on the elliptical machine using the 4-point contact system. I actually had my feet on, I'll point to a link on a video. I was using it for 3 hours. I had my feet on the paddles going this way with the elliptical machine, and my hands holding the copper handhelds, and I was just cooking along for 3 hours. And then every once in a while I would switch hands because you have 3 points positive voltage and 1 point is the ground. So I'd switch the hands. So most of your body is being pulsed with the correct programmable, and it runs through all these frequencies. This one has 29 frequencies. This puppy's really a good super value too. And but since I looked at that and I says, the My Zapper, I'm curious about it big time because it's combining the best of Clark and Beck in one. Because it has not only more frequencies, it has far more accuracy. Even in this one, which is far more accurate than almost anything out there on the market. It's because the My Zapper is crystal controlled, but it's also doing the 4 hertz, which is a John Crane frequency for the Vitamag, regeneration healing. It's not really Rife stuff like where you use radio waves, but it's a little akin to that, a little bit akin to that. So, but hey, it's my decision, and I think it's an outstanding idea. But I just want to tell you, there's a new kid in a new game in town that's combining the best of pretty much everything out there. And as far as technologically advanced with more accuracy, it's far more accurate than all the other ones. And it is also has the constant current technology, so when you put a battery in it, it doesn't lose the voltage on the output. It has a constant current technology. Now, I mentioned in a few other of my videos, I happen to use these 9.6 volt rechargeable batteries that are made for like the paintball guns and stuff like that. They will last an extremely long time in these zappers. And even something like there's ones that are like slightly oversized. They will fit in the back of this compartment of this, in this one. And even though it fits in there nice and tight, they fit in there perfectly. So now that I discovered this product, this is my exclusive use zapper. I'm not even going to be using the Beck style zappers anymore, period. Even though I was endorsing them. And I know people are going to get pissed off at that. But, you know, are they useful up to a point? Yes. And that was always my thing. I think they're useful up to a point. But I think this kind, if I'm going to spend time zapping, and, you know, these are newer products too. I mean, it's not like, you know, the Beck is technology from the 90s and early 90s. This is 2014. So, live and learn, and I'm just telling you, that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be doing it especially while I'm doing cardio, because I can do two things at once. So anyway, that's my little update and report on the zapper world, and I'm not exactly changing camps from the Beck to Clark. I'm actually combining both, the best of both, and that's going to be in the ParaZapper MY zapper, crystal controlled and accurate. All right, over and out. See you later, dudes and ladies.